show. I'm Laura, and this week on the show we're talking all about launching versus evergreen, which is best for selling your coaching services. So if you are running a coaching business, it's really helpful to get an understanding of what launching is and what evergreen selling is, and then think about what is going to be the best for your business. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what each of these is, and these don't necessarily just have to be for like your courses and programs, and just to talk through what each of those can look like, and then how you can implement these into your business. So most people will be familiar, if you spent any time in the online coaching industry, you'll be familiar with the launch model. So the launch model tends to be used for, it can be used for your one-to-one coaching services as well, but it tends to be used for things like group programs, memberships that have an open and close date or have a start and end date. And the launch model really emphasizes FOMO and scarcity and something running out and stopping. So really that's where the launch model gets a lot of power from, because that in itself is a really great selling tool, because it helps people to move and make decisions and get on board with something. So a launch is really all focused around, it's basically, a launch is creating a system of marketing and promotion and visibility based around something opening, a cart closing, that kind of thing. And it really utilizes that as a method of doing it. So launches can work really well. And some of the downsides though is that they can be quite stressful, and they require quite high energy, and they could, if you have a lot riding on a launch, they can be incredibly stressful. So there are some downsides to launching. And also it means, like, if someone wants to work with you or join your thing when you're not launching, they have to wait, and you're therefore potentially missing that sale as well. So there's some downsides with launching, but that's in a nutshell a launch. It is like that high energy, very much focused around a kind of cart closing type of style. And then your evergreen. Evergreen is basically when something's available all year round and all the time, as evergreen is. You sell an evergreen. What you don't have is the urgency to get people to buy or make a decision. And sometimes that can be tricky when it comes to the evergreen style of things, because whether you like it or not, and again, there's like a whole conversation that we had on like how we ethically employ some of these sales tactics, if you like, in our businesses. With evergreen, there's no, the urgency is coming internally from someone. They make the decision when this is the right time for them. And most of us, for our main coaching packages, they are just there available all of the time. Like my main coaching packages, they're available all the time. And there's not often any sense of urgency around that. And that's absolutely fine. And that can work really well. So a couple of examples of both of those from my business. So I have launched lots of different things. Usually when I have a new course or something available, or I am running a paid live training or something like that, it's like a launch. The biggest launches that I've done over the last few years have been around my group program, Wholehearted Business, where I have ran the challenge that is then led into like a promotional week, and then there's the offer of the program, and there's a close date, and usually that's combined with something like a price increase. And those are the kind of launches that I've run before, and I really quite enjoy launches. I find the energy is really high and really good, and for a long time I really enjoyed that. But then I think the last one that I ran, I think it might have been March this year, and it didn't feel energized, and it felt draining, and it was just like, I feel like I've done this so many times now, I'm going to try something different. So I decided not to do a launch anymore, and that I would have the program open all of the time. So I switched to more of an evergreen way of doing it. And again, like I said, the evergreen is great in some ways, but it does have some challenges with it. But I switched to that model. And then I have other things which are available on Evergreen. So all of my courses and programs are available all of the time, and you can just sign up for them whenever you want. And what I do have in place for some of those is I have little sales funnels that lead people towards those programs. Now, some of those sales funnels have got basically like an Evergreen countdown system where we are combining some of the tactics from a launch style into an evergreen model. I'm going to talk a bit about what that can look like for you as well. So for most of us who are running coaching businesses where we've got a main coaching package, they're probably going to be available evergreen. And like I say, one of the challenges that we have with selling our coaching packages in that way is that there's no real urgency for someone to make that decision, apart from their internal circumstances, mindset and stuff. And often that's enough. Like when I get clients come to me, it's like they know that they need some support. Usually they've been thinking about, I need some support for my business, I need to be working on this and this, and they've checked out my stuff, probably followed me for a little while, know who I am, and it happens really naturally from there. I still get people sometimes just popping in and buying courses and programs randomly. They find it and the price is at a point where it's an easier decision for them to make, and they just sign up, and that's awesome. But one of the things that we can think about doing in our coaching business is how we can combine some of those different elements together, and also knowing when the right time to create one of those things is. So at the moment, I am in the process of creating an evergreen funnel for the group program, which is going to more directly, basically funnel is like funneling people towards something. So it's more directly going to sell that program than any other mechanisms I've got in place at the moment. So that's something I'm working on. And again, like other things that you can put in place that create and again, like I think we've got to be really careful, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to use like ridiculous false urgency to pressure people into making decisions, especially not around high cost products. That's one of the reasons I have a 2-week cooling off period for all of my stuff. So if someone does buy something and it's not right, they've got 2 weeks and then get a full refund and you change around. And I think that's absolutely fine and reasonable. So I feel really comfortable. And I mean, one of the things I will always say to people as well is only sell in the way that you would feel comfortable being sold to. If you do not feel comfortable, if you hate countdown timers and urgency, you don't have to sell in that way. It's going to feel like incongruent for you to sell in that way. For me personally, like it really doesn't bother me. I understand how it works and I feel absolutely fine with it, and I can make decisions. So I've got no problem with using some urgency in the way that I sell. And I think it's just about how you do that and what that needs to look like. I often, when I'm talking to clients and people in the Wholehearted Business Program, I'm talking about ways to get people to move. And it's things like, it could be a time limited bonus, a time limited discount, it could be a price change. If you're selling your coaching package, it might be that if you want to do some promotion around that, it's really good to give people something to focus on in terms of this is going to run out, and give people a reason to move now. So if your coaching package is available all year round, you could say, right, okay, I'm going to do some very targeted promotion of this coaching package, and the thing at the end of the week is going to be a bonus that's going to disappear. And that gives you some focus. It gives people a reason to want to shift and buy things now. And it just helps you to market in a slightly different way than if you just marketing something that's available all of the time. Also with an evergreen funnel, which is one of the things I really love in business, and I think being able to craft these out can make such a big difference to like all of your products and programs and things like that. But it's basically about people being able to find you and your product at any time, but you give them that little sense of urgency to help them make a decision more quickly. So it's not just sat around waiting for them, basically. And the way that you can often do this is through having some kind of freebie that then leads to a sequence of emails that then leads to some kind of individualized timer that offers them something within a set amount of time. So often you will see as well, like an example of this is a tripwire. So if you haven't come across a tripwire, to be fair, I could do a whole episode of the business show just on tripwires. Sometimes if you download a freebie, you present it with an offer and it has quite a short amount of time that's available for. Usually it's massively discounted, and it's that kind of style thing, but done in a slightly more expansive and more spacious way, I think is a good way to describe it. So it's how we start to incorporate these little ways of getting people to move. And like I say, you don't have to be all launch model or all evergreen model. You can combine elements of the two. And that's really where I think in your coaching business, it's just really useful to be aware of what these things look like to help you sell your stuff, basically. And whether that's a full coaching package to a small digital product, there's ways of being able to create that and make that work in your business as well. Now, if you are interested in this, actually, I'm really excited because I have a new program that I have offered. I think I offered this, I think the last time I did it was back in 2018, and these went really quickly. I think it might be 2019, I can't remember. But basically, it is a small package of support from me, and it's really focused on implementation and getting stuff done. So if you're listening to this and you're a coach who wants to implement something specific, and this is a really great time of year for it because you would work with me between now and the end of January. So it'd be a great time to get something put together and launch it or offer it in January. But this could be something like an evergreen funnel that you want to set up. It could be a course that you want to create. It could be a new freebie that you want to get sorted out. There's all sorts of different things it could be, but basically this is the Get It Done package. It includes 3 one-to-one calls with me, Voxer support between now and the end of January, and also 10 hours of actual practical tech or design support, either from me or from my VA. So it's very action orientated. And I've spoken recently about this kind of, especially the way things are at the moment with the economy, having some diversity of income and basically creating new ways for money to find you is really positive. So I wanted to offer up these sessions. I've only got 3 of these slots available, and like last time they went really quickly. You can pay on payment plan as well. I can give you like a nice extended payment plan too, if that's going to make it easier. But this is really focused on getting shit done. So if you want to set anything like that up, this is really good, so that you've got the calls with me to go over the strategy, and then you've got the actual tech support and the actual time and design work and stuff, whatever it is that you need to actually be done. So not only are you getting the strategy, you're actually getting the implementation as well. That's one of the things that often people struggle with, is they can meet with a coach and talk about the strategy, but actually when it comes to the getting it done and the implementation, either because they don't have the skills themselves to use the tech or the design stuff, or they have to find a VA who's the right fit. This package just puts it all together and it ties it in a nice little bow. If you're interested, let me know as soon as possible. We can have a call about it. That's absolutely no problem. Pop me an email, laura@wholeheartedlylaura.com. And like I say, you could use this for all sorts of different things, but it's really about implementation. So it could be something like a new freebie, it could be some website tweaks, it could be creating a new package or program, it could be creating a new digital course, it could be creating a new small digital product, it could be setting up a tripwire, it could be doing all sorts of things. And really, again, the aim for this would be that you would recoup the investment that you would make on this program through whatever it is that we end up creating, that you would then go on and sell. So that would be the way to look at it as well. So if you're interested, let me know. Like I say, if it does sound good, I wouldn't hold on, because these do tend to go quite quickly, because they're good value and they're very focused on actually getting stuff done. So let me know. And yes, I'd be delighted to help you with that. But like I say, when it comes to launching Evergreen, I think it's really useful to understand what those look like, and to just understand how you can implement some of this stuff into your business as well. We do also cover this in Wholehearted Business in my group program. If that's a better fit for you, check that out. I'll leave the link as well. This is really about getting it done, and getting it done so that you've got something to go in January. So let me know your thoughts on that. And I hope that's been useful, getting your head around Evergreen and launching and what those things might look like. And yeah, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.